To give you the backstory on Zack and Addie would first begin with Zack. Neither were born in Louisiana. They both transplanted to New Orleans. On a trip with his father, Zack decided to stay once his father left, and he found work as a bartender. Addie also worked at a bar across the street from Zack, and that is how they met, became friends, and eventually a couple. Before he met Addie, Zack was married with children, and he was also in the army and served in Iraq. His wife claimed he was never the same person when he came back home, and they would later separate. So enter Hurricane Katrina in late summer of 2005. We know about the devastation brought on by that storm, and the dams breaking killed a lot of people and a lot lost their homes. Fortunately, most of the French Quarter was spared, and that is where the apartment the couple rented and was located. The aftermath for them was, in their eyes, a whole lot of fun. It was like a camping experience in the French Quarter, and the French Quarter was their ghost town campground, so to speak. They even made the headlines of a local paper, enjoying their 15 minutes of fame. But once everything began to turn normal, businesses opening back up, electricity restoring, they realized it was time to go back to work. By now, stress had started to sit in heavy with those two. Many factors played a role in what was to happen. Drug issues, arguing and fighting all the time, Zack's unstable mind from being in Iraq, Addie's expectations of being a free spirit fading away because she began to see the poisons of their relationship. The last fight they would ever have is that Zack snapped and strangled Addie to death. Zack spent 2 weeks in a fog about what he did. His behavior was odd. He could be seen out drinking every night, but in the day he was held up in his apartment doing the unthinkable. What he did in that apartment above a voodoo shop makes one ask, can this actually have happened? Is this even true? Yep, it happened, and it's very true. He dismembered Addie's body and put the parts in the freezer, fridge, oven, and her head was in a stove boiling in water. 2 weeks later, Zack jumped off the roof at the Omni Hotel in the French Quarter.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're a first-time viewer, I'm happy you found me. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, share, and click the notifications for new content. Again, welcome, and let's get into the story. If we turn, we can. Teresa wants to go to see the Zack and Addie house, so we will be in front of that in just a few minutes. I'm going to stop the video, and we'll see you in a second. Okay, folks, we're back here at Bloody Mary's Haunted Museum. This is where we came and done our tour. And yeah, we'll come back in the morning, do some shopping. Yeah. A few years ago, I visited the Rampart Street murder house in New Orleans with my best friend Teresa. It is the location where Zack Bowen ended the life of his girlfriend, Addie Hall. I created a documentary in full detail along with our visit to the location about that story, which you can find on my channel. This past summer, we revisited the site, and we also found the location where Zack decided to end his life 2 weeks after the murder. If you are not familiar with this story, Zack not only strangled his girlfriend during a fight, but he did the unthinkable in the apartment above the voodoo shop. He dismembered her corpse and cooked parts of her body in the oven and on top of the stove to try and dispose her body. The original appliances still exist in the apartment, believe it or not. If you want to know more about those details, I suggest watching the documentary I created a few years ago called Rampart Street Murder House. I will also put an end video link at the end that goes into more detail about this gruesome tale that happened there in October of 2006. In this video, I will show you some of the footage from our past experiences while visiting the apartment, including the footage where Zack took his own life 2 weeks later. It is very clear that Zack was in a psychotic state following her death, where he was doing the unthinkable to her corpse during the day, but at night he was seen in the bars and strip clubs until he finally decided to take his own life when he jumped to his death from the 7th floor of the Omni Royal Orleans Hotel, landing on top of the parking garage. When Zack's body was discovered, he had a note in his pocket inside of a Ziploc bag for law enforcement to find, which contained a full confession of the horrors he committed and where her body could be found, which read, "This is not accidental. I had to take my own life to pay for the one I took. If you send a patrol car to 826 North Rampart, you will find the dismembered corpse of my girlfriend Addie in the oven, on the stove, and in the fridge, along with full documentation on the both of us and a full signed confession from myself. Signed, Zack Bowen."
Hot and tired from our tour in the cemetery in June in New Orleans, all we were there to do was take photos and some video, which Teresa did perform a short session with her phone. We had no idea we would catch an EVP, but we did.
See Bloody Mary?
Hello, is there anybody here? Addie or Zack?
We're at the Zack and Addie house.
Addie or Zack?
We're at the Zack and Addie house.
In an interview with ABC, landlord Leo Watermeyer told ABC that he only knew the couple for a short time, but that when he met them, he said Zack seemed like a very gentle guy and she was peppery, a fighter. He also said that the couple wanted him to know that they were die-hard New Orleans, and because of that, and I quote, "why I rented to them," and was very reassuring for him to hear this and that he was very happy to help them stay. Today, the renowned voodoo priestess or queen of New Orleans, Bloody Mary, rents the entire building where she operates a voodoo shop and gives tours of the now infamous scene where the grisly murders took place. On the last day of Zack's life, he visited the Omni Royal Orleans Hotel, where he was seen on CCTV pacing back and forth around the rooftop pool. Then at some point, he sat on the ledge of one of the balconies where he plunged to his death. And here's the footage showing that location. Okay, so this is the Omni Royal Orleans on St. Louis Street. Now, this is the hotel that Zack Bowen's had his last drink. He climbed to the 7th floor balcony, jumped off, landed on top of the parking garage, and had that letter that I told you about before in his pocket that told the police where to find Addie on 826 North Rampart Street. And I'm going to go across the street so you can get a better view of what the hotel looks like. Here's more of the hotel. Here's a sign right inside here. Welcome to the Omni Royal Orleans. If you want, I think you can get a picture of the parking garage. Yeah, okay.
I think it's around.
So we're walking down, and like I said, this was the last place before he decided, you know, he made that decision. He was either, he had to either eventually be caught, or I guess he didn't want to be caught. So this is where he ended his life. New Orleans is very busy this weekend. We don't want to get run over. So we're going to cross the street here. There's tour groups everywhere. I've never seen so many tour groups this weekend. We've been here 2 nights now.
See, the public parking's down that road.
Right. Well, okay. See, here's the sign Teresa just pointed out to me. I'll zoom in on it. It's a pretty big hotel. So, yeah. Somewhere up there, and then we're going to come around. And that is the Omni Royal. Teresa, I think I know where he landed.
Up here?
Right there. You see the building where the parking is?
Yeah.
Either that or he landed. No, he would have had to jump from up there, and he must have landed.
On that parking garage right there, the red
He
one.
must have landed right there. So somewhere along up here,
Is the rooftop bar still open?
I have no idea because I've never been in it. But I'm assuming now
That's the only thing that makes sense was to be
that he
to
was
land on that parking
yeah,
garage.
that he was sitting somewhere up there before he jumped,
Yeah, it's on this.
and he would have landed on top of this parking garage right here.
It's up there, it's the rooftop.
Yeah.
See the balconies on this side?
Yep.
So crazy.
He was on one of those balconies. I'm gonna see if I can zoom in. See, these are balconies right here. So sitting on top of, he was sitting on the railing before he jumped. So he would be sitting on top of what we're assuming, and landed on top of this garage here. For new content and breaking news stories, please be sure to click the notifications to follow along and be notified when updates are available. Don't forget to like, comment, and please feel free to share. You can also join my Facebook group for True Crime and History Time and follow me on TikTok and Instagram. My usernames for those platforms are @JerryScarborough Official. And as always, thank you for watching, subscribing, and supporting my channel.